back at you with another one. Now we got, this one I went on a toy hunt for. I got to start filming my toy hunt. Shout out to my boy Rich. He's always telling me to film the hunt. I got to do that though, but certainly love going into a Target or any store really and finding some Godzilla figures that you want and you didn't have. This is the Playmates toys, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire Drownviper, right here from the movie. This is a pretty cool kaiju that they created in the MonsterVerse here. You know, this is basically what popped up out of the water on Kong, and Kong had to fight him. Zuko basically set Kong up. He knew that the drowned viper was in the lagoon and tried to lure Kong in there, and Kong had to fight this thing off, you know. So, and we have the standard GXK color scheme, which is the pinks and the blues with the crystals. Of course, picture of Godzilla and Kong on one side. They're on the front, on the other side. And the crystals on the other side. And then we have a nice picture of the figure here. And this is, I believe, the second wave now. I guess I have 4 of these figures now. I have Kong with the battle axe. I have Energized Godzilla. And I have Tiamat. I very much want to get my hands on One Eye and the real feel Godzilla and Kong so I could complete the 6 inches for this one. You're going to have the regular Godzilla and Kong write-up that I've read a billion times there. I'll just put my camera on it so you can see it. And it says, Drownviper. Beware hollow earth's lagoons or prepare to be ambushed by the savage serpentine Drownviper, capable of crushing constriction and jaw-droppingly intense bite force. Now, this thing is actually an eel, right? If you look it up online, that's what it is. I don't know why it's the Drownviper, though. I don't know if that's a bit of a lazy name. Like, why? Because he tried to drown Kong, and it kind of looks like a snake. But it's actually an eel. That's what it is if you look it up, you know, for the explanation of the MonsterVerse kaiju. It's an eel, so. But cool kaiju in the movie and cool looking toy here from Playmates. It's a nice, and I hate to call them toys because I think they're just as collectible as any other figure. So it's a nice figure from Playmates. And I really, really like this thing, you know. I've been wanting it for a while, and it's cool that they're like, that they released like some of the other kaiju from the movie, like One Eye, like Drownviper, and so you could really have a complete set of all of the kaiju that appeared in the movie, and that's dope. So we are going to get this sucker out of the box here, and we're going to see what he could do. Let's go. Let's get it. Okay, so here we go. So, I mean, first off the bat, it's a pretty good paint job and a fairly good depiction of what the Drowned Viper looked like. You could Google the Drowned Viper online, and this is pretty damn close, I would have to say. So, not bad on Playmates' part there. I've seen some reviews where they were complaining that maybe with the teeth, maybe the face, the teeth, the way the teeth are, make it look a little bit goofy. I don't know. I think it looks pretty close to how it actually looks. So it's fairly screen accurate, honestly. You know what I mean? And, you know, the face and the mouth, I mean, the mouth is pretty well done compared to some other figures. Like, it's definitely got a better inside of the mouth than Shimo, like the 6-inch Shimo. And the paint job is quite nice. Look at the detail right there on the face. I mean, as far as the paint work is concerned, that's nice. And you could see, you could just take a look at the paint all along here and see that it's fairly well done. Eyes are a little goofy. You know, this thing is an eel, So it's not going to stand too far upright. You kind of have to balance him using his tail, which you could see I could do. You could do quite nicely. But yeah, I mean it's an eel, so it moves like an eel. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the head. Yeah, all ball joints. And the head's gonna move. The jaw opens and closes. And you could pretty much, we're gonna see. We're gonna check it out. Take a look at what the articulation actually looks like. I can imagine it, but it does move a little weird the way that it's built. It's cool though, but I want to see if we could test it and get it to like stand up higher. You know what I mean? Like kind of like he stood up out of the water when he was fighting Kong. So, the Drownvipers are basically a super species of aggressive eels. You know what I mean? And they'll take out creatures, kaiju, titans, Kong size. You know what I mean? And he gave Kong a decent little battle for a minute. But, yeah, this is pretty cool so far. So let's, now that you've seen what he looks like, let's see what poses we could get him into. And how this thing performs. Okay, so surprisingly, you can get them up fairly high. You just have to balance it correctly. I didn't think you were going to be able to do that, But, if you kind of bend it like that and just turn it in the right place, it's kind of similar to how the war bat stood. And that's how it goes. The fins on the back are not going to line up 100% when you do that, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Just the fact that you can do it is pretty cool, and have him raising up like he raised up out of the water at Kong. And I want you to understand one thing about that scene. That was kind of a nod to Terror of Mechagodzilla, the way they filmed that, like basically looking up at him like that when he popped out of the water, because it's basically the same way they filmed Titanosaurus. And I thought that was like a cool nod to because there was a lot of the Showa era mixed into GXK. You know what I mean? And I thought that shot with the Drownviper certainly recreated that scene when you first see Titanosaurus come out of the water as well. So that was that shot took you back. I'll place it in the video so I could show you what I'm talking about. But cool that you could raise them up there like that. That looks great. Now, you can't really lay him out straight. He's curved, you know what I mean? When you turn, like that's about as straight as you get him. So, because the pieces are curved, as you can see here. So, he's got a natural curve to him, but that's about as straight out as you could get him. Still not bad, I still think it really looks nice, this figure, to me. I don't know. The paint job is done really nice on it. It's eye-catching. Well, the blue is nice, by the way. I don't know about these just yellow streaks here, but I think maybe a little more care could have gone into that, because the blue certainly and the white look nice. His face looks great, and the blue on all the way down looks really good. Overall, it's decent looking. The paint job is pretty cool for Playmates. You know what I mean? I think Playmates just keeps getting better and better in quality. They're going to improve and start maybe offering more articulation on their figures too. Who knows? But, the way these are flying out of the stores. I mean, I'm telling you, if they get something new at Target, it's not there for very long. So this line, Playmates GXK line, definitely had to make them a lot of money. It's doing well. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, you could basically have him in a cool pose like this. I mean, you could get him in different poses. It's just the way the body is lined up. You know, things are going to be not in the right places. But that's okay. You know what I mean? You're still getting them into the pose you want. The head turns. Mouth opens and closes. So, it's nice. It's nice to add this guy, I'll tell you the truth. Nothing wrong with it. I can't complain. Yeah, there's pretty decent articulation after all. There's different poses. You just got to feel it out and get it into what you think is right. You know what I mean? But you can make this guy look in many different directions, you know, with the way you pose it. Interesting. Yeah. Pretty cool. So basically, you know, when the Drownviper shows up in the film, it's when Kong is basically forcing Zuko to take him to Scar King's lair. You know, like previously Zuko had set Kong up to get jumped by the other apes. And so, you know, when Kong discovers that and, you know, beats them up real quick, kills one of them, the other one runs back to Scar King's lair. That's One Eye. But, and we're going to get that figure. But then, you know, Kong makes Zuko take him where One Eye ran, which is Scar King's lair. And so, you know, Zuko's still trying to figure out how to get rid of Kong. So he goes to the lagoon to basically splash some water around, knowing that the Drownviper is there. And he basically goes into the water and calls Kong to come into the water. And Kong is basically, you know, he's got the axe. He's basically a little skeptical of it and looking all around. He could sense something's not right, but he still goes into the water. And then, boom, the Drownviper pops up and attacks him, and Zuko runs away. So that was basically that scene. And you could obviously recreate this scene when the Drownviper basically launches himself at Kong, and Kong just like grabs him by the neck with the axe in the other hand in the middle of the lagoon. Awesome. That looks great. Really cool. Glad that. And this is basically you know, Kong with the battle axe is who you would pose with the Drownviper, obviously. And I like the scaling, and it works. This is the figure to pose on the shelf with this guy. And they look quite nice together. Definitely get the Drownviper to wrap around Kong, which is super cool, man. You know, just pose him like that on the shelf. You know, that's great, man. Awesome. So, of course, then Kong kills the Drownviper, and Zuko's running away. Kong throws his axe and trips up Zuko, and then basically throws the head of the Drownviper there right by. And Zuko's looking at it, basically showing him who's the king around these parts, you know? Yeah. You know, and then, of course, Kong is eating the Drownviper. Zuko's hungry, and Kong gives Zuko a piece of the Drownviper to eat. And from that moment on, Zuko is riding with Kong for the rest of the movie, you know? So, killing the Drownviper had a big impression on Zuko, and then Kong being generous with his food was enough to seal their friendship. But yeah, you can rip a piece off if need be. All right, so that's going to be it on this guy. I mean, there's nothing really to tell. You get some nice motion on the head, by the way. Up, down, and side to side. The head moves quite nicely, you know. So you only have several poses you could get this thing in. But, you know, it's cool. You know, you put it in one pose you like on the shelf. My suggestion is pose it with Battle Axe Kong. And you got yourself a nice little two-piece pose together on the shelf. But the Drownviper, man, not a bad figure by Playmates. I would recommend it. You know, especially if you're a completist and you want to finish this GXK 6-inch line. It's nice. So go out and get you some Drownviper. Peace. Like the goddamn video. Subscribe to my channel. I will be back at you with another Playmates review very soon. Like, real soon. All right, peace.